Welcome to our channel. We are so glad you found your way here. Let us help you fall asleep. Let's begin with the quiet collapse of MoviePass, the failure of the unlimited cinema ticket plan. Take a slow, deep breath in and release it. Even the tallest towers eventually quiet down. Tonight, we gently explore the empty boardrooms and forgotten ambitions of the past. Your mind is calm, and we are ready to begin. The origins of MoviePass lie in an innovative concept, one that sought to disrupt the traditional cinema model. Founded in the year 2011, it emerged from a desire to increase theater attendance by offering consumers an unlimited ticketing plan for a low monthly fee. This initiative promised a revolutionary experience, allowing subscribers to watch unlimited films at participating theaters. Enthusiasm surrounded its launch, as it presented an enticing proposition for movie lovers who had long been burdened by escalating ticket prices. The founders envisioned a world where cinema was accessible to all, fostering a renewed appreciation for film. Initial reception was overwhelmingly positive. People flocked to sign up, compelled by the notion that they could indulge in cinematic experiences without financial constraints. These early adopters quickly became advocates, spreading the word about the newfound freedom to consume cinema at will. As the concept gained traction, it drew the attention of investors eager to capitalize on the growing trend of subscription services. This backing allowed for expansion, with MoviePass rapidly increasing its subscriber base. The allure of unlimited viewing seemed poised to reshape the industry landscape, transforming not just how films were consumed, but how they were marketed and distributed. Yet beneath this surface of optimism, challenges began to emerge, foreshadowing the difficulties that would soon engulf this burgeoning enterprise. The founders, entrepreneurs driven by a vision of transforming the cinema experience, initially presented an innovative model that promised to change the way audiences engaged with films. They sought to harness a subscription-based approach, offering unlimited access to theaters for a nominal monthly fee. This concept resonated with the public, drawing in subscribers eager to embrace a new era of moviegoing. Their enthusiasm was palpable, with the founders frequently emphasizing the potential to disrupt a stagnant industry. They believed that aligning the interests of consumers with theater owners would create a win-win scenario, facilitating a renaissance in cinema attendance. Early metrics suggested a promising trajectory, with numerous individuals flocking to join the subscription service. Challenges began to surface as the business expanded. The financial model struggled to sustain itself under the weight of rapidly escalating operational costs. Compounding these issues, the relationship with theaters grew tenuous. Many operators were apprehensive about the implications of discounted ticket prices on their bottom line. Tensions emerged as they sought to renegotiate terms in an attempt to maintain viability. Amidst these mounting pressures, communication between the founders and stakeholders became strained, leading to fractured trust. As the initial optimism began to wane, the vision that once inspired a movement was overshadowed by the harsh realities of a shifting marketplace. The film industry in 2011 was marked by a complex interplay of consumer preferences and technological advancements. Traditional cinema experiences were increasingly challenged by the rise of streaming services, which began to reshape audience expectations for accessibility and convenience. This period saw theaters struggling to maintain relevance as home viewing options became more sophisticated and appealing. The overall market landscape revealed a declining frequency of theater visits, with attendance numbers steadily dropping across many demographics. It was not uncommon for theaters to find themselves filled with empty seats, a stark contrast to the bustling environments of prior decades. The allure of the big screen faced competition from the comforts of home, where viewers could enjoy films on demand, often at a fraction of the cost of a theater ticket. Concessions alone could not bridge the financial gaps that emerged. Theaters were compelled to adapt, often relying on blockbuster franchises to draw in audiences, yet this strategy proved to be a double-edged sword. While big-budget films generated significant revenue, they also contributed to a homogenization of content, leaving many viewers craving diversity in film offerings. This evolving landscape presented a multitude of challenges and uncertainties, setting the stage for innovative yet. Despite the initial allure, the underlying mechanics of this approach began to reveal significant vulnerabilities. Revenue streams relied heavily on subscription numbers, while movie studios and theaters faced increasing pressures to sustain profit margins. High demand for popular films led to unsustainable losses, as the service struggled to recoup costs associated with ticket purchases. The disparity between subscriber growth and actual cinema attendance created an imbalance that proved difficult to manage. Operational inefficiencies emerged, exposing the weaknesses in the business model. In an environment where cinema attendance fluctuated, these challenges compounded. The initial launch of the subscription service attracted a wave of early adopters eager to embrace a new way of experiencing films. The concept offered an appealing proposition: access to unlimited movie viewings for a single monthly fee. Enthusiasm radiated from this group, who reveled in the opportunity to attend screenings without the burden of individual ticket prices. This excitement manifested in social media buzz and word-of-mouth endorsements, as users shared stories of frequent visits to theaters. Many experienced a sense of liberation, unshackled from the constraints of traditional ticket purchasing. The initial consumer reception was overwhelmingly positive, reflected in rising subscription numbers. In the early months, theaters experienced an uptick in attendance, while the service garnered attention from industry analysts. Cinemagoers embraced the freedom of choice, exploring genres and films they might have otherwise overlooked. The innovation seemed poised to disrupt the established norms of movie-going culture. As the initial fervor settled, concerns began to surface. Questions regarding sustainability and long-term viability emerged. Increasingly, users wondered how the model could support the inherent costs of film distribution. The optimism of the early adopters began to dim, replaced by uncertainty surrounding the future of this ambitious venture. Doubts crept into conversations, hinting at the challenges that lay ahead. The pricing strategy emerged as a cornerstone of the initiative, with a monthly subscription plan set at $10. This figure was remarkably enticing, appealing to both cinephiles and casual moviegoers alike. It promised unlimited access to films, an unprecedented offer that sparked initial excitement across the industry. Analysts noted the allure of affordability, a factor that appeared destined to draw in vast numbers of subscribers. The early months showcased a remarkable surge in signups, leading to optimistic projections about profitability. Yet, as the model gained traction, underlying issues began to surface. The financial viability of this subscription rate came under scrutiny, particularly when considering the substantial costs incurred by studios for each ticket. the imbalance between revenue and expenditures became increasingly pronounced, prompting concerns within the company about sustainability. With each passing month, the subscriber base expanded, but so did the strain on resources. Competition in the market intensified, forcing the company to reassess its pricing model. Adjustments were considered, yet any potential shift risked alienating the very audience that had embraced the concept. Uncertainties clouded the landscape as stakeholders grappled with the implications of maintaining a low price amidst rising operational demands. This region of uncertainty laid the groundwork for future challenges that would. Consumer demand surged as the allure of unlimited cinema tickets captivated audiences. This phenomenon drew in subscribers eager to experience a multitude of films at a fraction of the traditional cost. Cinematic enthusiasts embraced the concept, leading to rapid growth in membership numbers. The initial excitement translated into a wave of contentment as users flocked to theaters, transforming their viewing habits. MoviePass quickly became a household name, embodying the promise of unrestricted access to the cinematic world. The appeal resonated particularly in urban centers, where theaters flourished and film culture thrived. Enthusiasts reveled in the ability to watch multiple films in a single day, and this trend flourished amidst a backdrop of rising ticket prices. The allure of a flat monthly fee offered an enticing alternative, prompting many to abandon traditional purchasing methods. As subscriptions climbed, so did the expectations of service. Audiences began to anticipate a seamless experience, one where the barriers between them and their cinematic desires faded. Yet beneath the surface, complexities began to emerge. The surge of demand strained the financial framework of the service. The escalating costs of theater partnerships and the fluctuating economics of film distribution introduced vulnerabilities. As anticipation grew, so did the challenges that would. The challenges that would emerge from this ambitious undertaking were multifaceted. Initially, the subscription model appeared simple and appealing. Individuals could enjoy unlimited access to films for a nominal monthly fee, enticing a vast audience. However, the underlying economic realities soon began to reveal themselves. With a growing subscriber base, the financial strain on the company intensified. The cost of movie tickets, combined with the need to maintain partnerships with theaters, proved unsustainable. Rapid growth led to operational difficulties. Managing relationships with various cinema chains became increasingly complex. As attendance surged, theaters faced a dilemma: how to accommodate the influx of MoviePass subscribers without compromising their own revenue. This tension created friction that undermined the original collaboration. It was not long before theaters began to restrict access, tightening the terms of agreements. Revenue sharing became contentious, leading to further complications. Customer expectations shifted dramatically. Subscribers anticipated a continually evolving service, but the company struggled to adapt. Frequent changes to the terms of service and the limitations imposed by theaters alienated the very audience it sought to please. The initial allure of unlimited access transformed into a source of frustration. Amidst this evolving landscape, it became evident that the business model, once heralded as revolutionary, was faltering under the weight of its own ambition. Collaborations with theaters initially promised a symbiotic relationship, an alliance that would enhance patronage and bolster the industry. Chains embraced the concept of an unlimited cinema ticket, viewing it as a tool to attract a broader audience and increase ticket sales. These partnerships, however, soon revealed underlying tensions. Theater chains began to question the sustainability of the arrangement, concerned about the rising costs and the impact on their revenue streams. The influx of MoviePass subscribers led to overcrowded screenings, diminishing the overall customer experience. This phenomenon prompted some theaters to impose restrictions, limiting the use of the service during peak showtimes. As the relationship soured, a sense of mistrust permeated the atmosphere. The initial enthusiasm turned into a cautious wariness as venues reconsidered their affiliations. Diminished partnerships led to a cascading effect on brand image. Theaters began to distance themselves from a service that had once been celebrated. In response, MoviePass attempted to pivot, seeking new alliances and promotional strategies to regain favor. Attempts to innovate with subscription tiers and incentives failed to attract the needed interest. The ultimate disintegration of these collaborations reflected a broader disconnect between ambitious visions and operational realities, marking a significant turning point in the company's trajectory. The once promising venture became a cautionary tale in modern business. Significant initial investment attracted attention and optimism. Back in the early days, MoviePass presented an innovative concept that resonated with both investors and consumers alike. It offered a straightforward subscription model, granting moviegoers the ability to watch multiple films for a single monthly fee. This idea sparked enthusiasm, leading to substantial funding rounds. The initial capital influx supported ambitious marketing campaigns and technology development, promising a seamless user experience. Investors were captivated by projections of growth, envisioning a future where cinema attendance would soar. With excitement buzzing around this fresh approach, the company quickly amassed millions in funding from venture capitalists eager to capitalize on a disruptive business model. As the subscription numbers swelled, so too did the expectations. The initial success facilitated further investments, creating a cycle of optimism that masked the underlying challenges. Unsustainable growth patterns began to emerge, reflected in rising operational costs and the complexity of managing partnerships with theaters. The excitement surrounding the initial concept gradually morphed into pressure. Each funding round became increasingly critical as the need for financial viability loomed ever larger. Investors grew anxious, questioning the sustainability of a model that promised unlimited access yet struggled to maintain profitability. This shift marked the beginning of a slow unraveling as overconfidence met the harsh realities of market dynamics. Expansion plans initiated by the fading company focused on broadening its geographic and demographic reach. They aimed to penetrate new markets, believing that a nationwide presence would bolster their subscriber base. Targeting urban centers with dense populations, it sought to attract millennials and younger audiences who were increasingly drawn to streaming services and alternative entertainment options. This strategy involved partnerships with theaters, offering incentives for venues to promote the service. Such collaborations were expected to create a mutually beneficial environment where increased foot traffic would drive ticket sales. Promotions were designed to captivate new demographics, highlighting the allure of unlimited movie access. As the initiative progressed, the reality became apparent. With the rapid influx of users, operational challenges emerged. The existing infrastructure struggled to accommodate the overwhelming demand. many theaters experienced disruptions, leading to dissatisfaction among both patrons and venue owners. Compounding the issue, the attempt to cater to a diverse audience inadvertently diluted the brand's identity. The original promise of simplicity transformed into a complex landscape of varied offerings, confusing potential subscribers. The allure of unlimited viewing began to wane, overshadowed by the logistical hurdles and mounting customer grievances. In this climate, the ambitious expansion efforts faltered, revealing the fragility of a business model reliant on unchecked growth and optimism. The once promising vision now lay in stark contrast to the emerging reality. A multitude of marketing strategies aimed to capture the interest of cinema enthusiasts, employing a mix of traditional and digital advertising. Campaigns flooded social media platforms, promising unlimited access to films for a modest monthly fee. This approach garnered significant attention, effectively drawing in a large cohort of subscribers eager to embrace the novelty of an all-you-can-watch cinema experience. Promotional partnerships with major film studios and cinema chains facilitated the creation of enticing offers. The allure of blockbuster screenings, coupled with targeted ads, reached audiences across various demographics. It was not merely about the films, but the lifestyle it represented. The perception of value resonated as potential customers envisioned a future where the cinema experience was both accessible and affordable. Despite the initial success in customer acquisition, the rapid influx of subscribers proved unsustainable. Marketing efforts did not account for the underlying operational complexities. Service limitations and a continually evolving film industry strained the ability to maintain the promised experience. Advertising campaigns that once thrived on the excitement of innovation began to reflect a growing disillusionment among users. As customer sentiment shifted, retention became increasingly challenging. This disconnect illustrated the fragility of a business model reliant on perpetual growth without a foundation robust enough to support it. The initial enthusiasm faded as the reality of service limitations set in. The mobile application, central to the MoviePass experience, became a linchpin in the operational framework. Initially, it promised seamless access, allowing users to effortlessly book tickets for screenings. In this region, the interface was sleek, designed to attract a tech-savvy demographic eager for convenience. However, the underlying infrastructure struggled to support the influx of users. Frequent crashes and slow loading times emerged as common complaints, disrupting the user experience. These issues reflected a lack of adequate testing and scaling capabilities, revealing vulnerabilities in the system. Frustration among subscribers grew as they encountered barriers to what was marketed as unlimited access, diminishing the allure of the service. Technical glitches compounded the challenges faced by the fading company. It became clear that insufficient investment in robust software development contributed to a decline in user trust. Many turned to social media to voice their discontent, amplifying dissatisfaction within the community. The failure to address these infrastructure shortcomings not only alienated existing subscribers, but also stymied acquisition efforts. In an era where user experience dictated loyalty, the shortcomings of the application underscored deeper financial issues. As users continued to disengage, the once promising venture drew closer to its inevitable decline, leaving behind a silent testament to ambition unfulfilled. Issues with user experience became increasingly apparent. The application, initially lauded for its innovative approach, began to harbor a multitude of usability problems. Frequent crashes disrupted the ticket purchasing process, leading to frustration among users. Countless complaints surfaced regarding long wait times and app glitches, which transformed the act of booking a simple movie outing into a source of irritation. Feedback from subscribers reflected a growing discontent. Many expressed dissatisfaction with the limited selection of films available, feeling as though their choices were constrained. The inability to secure seats for popular screenings further compounded the negative sentiment, as customers were often met with disappointment. This region of the market, once ripe with potential, began to demonstrate signs of erosion as the gulf between expectation and reality widened. Attempts to address these usability issues yielded minimal results, a stark contrast to the fervent enthusiasm that had initially surrounded the platform. Updates were sporadic, often insufficient in resolving underlying problems. Communication from the company grew sparse, leaving users feeling abandoned and unheard. Trust eroded, and as loyalty waned, the app became a symbol of disillusionment. The growing disconnect between user needs and the experience provided marked a critical juncture, as this once celebrated service slipped further into obscurity, a shadow of its former existence. Emerging competitors capitalized on the disarray, presenting tailored alternatives that resonated more profoundly with audiences. These alternatives offered flexibility and transparent pricing structures, creating a stark contrast to the declining service. Their focus on user-centric features allowed them to cultivate a more engaged subscriber base, which in turn fueled their growth. Market leaders in the subscription space began to refine their models, introducing tiered offerings that catered to diverse viewing preferences and schedules. This adaptability proved crucial as consumers increasingly sought value beyond mere access to films. Enhanced amenities, such as reserved seating and exclusive member events, became common features, enriching the overall experience. As rivals thrived, the fading company faced mounting challenges. The once prominent brand struggled to redefine its identity amidst the influx of innovative offerings. Neglecting to adapt to shifting consumer demands further alienated potential subscribers. This detachment underlined a critical failure in understanding the evolving landscape of entertainment consumption. Within this competitive environment, the decline of the service illuminated the importance of continuous evolution. Those who embraced change flourished, while it became increasingly evident that stagnation led to irrelevance. The subscription model, once heralded as a revolutionary approach to cinema, transformed into a cautionary tale of what happens when connection falters and innovation stagnates. Media coverage of the company shifted from enthusiastic support to critical scrutiny. Initial reports lauded the accessible pricing and endless viewing options, portraying it as a disruptor in the industry. This excitement, however, faded as financial realities began to surface. Analysts and journalists began questioning the sustainability of the model, highlighting the significant losses incurred. Reports emerged detailing the alarming rate of subscriber churn, revealing a fragile base that no longer found value in the offering. Criticism intensified as the company's management struggled to articulate a coherent strategy. Ambiguities surrounding terms and conditions led to confusion among its users, further fueling negative sentiments. Coverage focused not only on the declining subscriber numbers, but also on its inability to negotiate favorable terms with theaters. With each passing month, the narrative evolved from one of innovation to desperation, marked by layoffs and financial restructuring. The perception of this once promising service shifted dramatically to reflect a cautionary tale in the tech landscape. Industry experts began to dissect the miscalculation of consumer loyalty, emphasizing the disconnect between expectations and reality. The declining company became emblematic of a broader trend within the subscription economy, demonstrating how quickly enthusiasm can dissipate when foundational elements crumble. This shift in media perception contributed significantly to the unraveling of what was once a groundbreaking initiative in cinema. Subscriber milestones marked the early days of this initiative with impressive fervor. Reaching 1 million subscribers in a mere 5 months demonstrated a rapid acceptance of the unlimited cinema ticket concept. This number, initially celebrated with great enthusiasm, highlighted the hunger for a new way to experience film. The allure of watching multiple movies each week for a single monthly fee attracted diverse demographics, creating an unprecedented surge in cinema attendance. Each milestone was accompanied by a sense of optimism, creating an atmosphere of excitement within the industry. The promise of substantial profits became a focal point for stakeholders who envisioned a future where traditional revenue models would be transformed. As subscriptions climbed steadily to 3 million, the company became a household name, synonymous with innovation in the film sector. These achievements, however, masked underlying vulnerabilities. The rapid growth created logistical challenges, straining provider relationships and resulting in financial discrepancies. Despite the elation surrounding subscriber numbers, the model's sustainability remained in question. The enthusiasm surrounding these achievements faded as the limitations of the business plan became discernible. What had once been a thriving venture began to show signs of strain, with the initial momentum giving way to anxiety over profitability and operational viability, leading to a complicated and tumultuous journey ahead. Financial viability became a pressing concern as the initial allure of the unlimited cinema ticket plan began to fade. With an unsustainable pricing model, the company found itself at a crossroads. Each subscription generated expectations of unlimited access, yet the cost structure was anchored on the assumption of low usage. This assumption proved to be flawed, as many subscribers exploited the plan, leading to an unanticipated surge in ticket redemptions. Operational expenses escalated rapidly. The company was obligated to pay theaters the full ticket price for each admission, creating a chasm between revenue and expenditure. This financial imbalance was compounded by mounting marketing expenses aimed at attracting new subscribers and retaining existing ones. The effort to scale the user base became a double-edged sword, as it reflected a desperate push against an increasingly unprofitable model. In this context, cash flow began to dwindle. The potential for growth transformed into a burden, leading to mounting debts and strained relationships with theater chains. The company's reliance on external funding sources became evident as it sought to navigate through financial turmoil. The illusion of unlimited entertainment was underpinned by a precarious financial framework, one that was destined to collapse under the weight of its own ambitions, marking the beginning of a slow decline into obscurity. Overwhelming demand took hold as subscribers flocked to the allure of unrestricted movie access. This influx strained relationships with theater partners who had initially embraced the concept with cautious optimism. Ticket sales surged, yet the revenue-sharing model proved inadequate for sustaining the arrangement. Each screening offered by theaters became a loss in the eyes of a business reliant on traditional admission prices. As the number of subscribers multiplied, theaters found themselves grappling with the consequences of their support. Screenings filled beyond capacity, and the promise of increased foot traffic turned into operational challenges. Overcrowded auditoriums became a common sight, diminishing the experience for casual moviegoers and subscribers alike. The initial excitement of partnering with an innovative service waned, replaced by apprehension over financial viability and customer satisfaction. Complaints began to surface about long wait times and inadequate seating, creating tension between the theaters and their patrons. Compounding these issues, the theaters faced increased costs in staffing and resources to accommodate the surge. This region, once a vibrant hub of cinema, began to show signs of strain under the weight of expectations. The partnership, once viewed as a progressive alliance, began to unravel as theater chains reevaluated their position. The unsustainable model left them questioning their long-term viability amidst shifting consumer behavior and dwindling profits. The impact of these revenue challenges extended beyond the confines of MoviePass itself. Theaters began to experience a noticeable shift in their financial landscapes. With the introduction of the unlimited cinema ticket plan, attendance figures initially surged. Patrons flocked to screens, eager to capitalize on the perceived value. This trend, however, soon revealed an underlying fragility. As the subscription model gained traction, theater chains found themselves grappling with reduced ticket sales. The revenue they traditionally relied upon dwindled, creating an imbalance that threatened their operational stability. Concessions, once a critical revenue stream, also faced decline as patrons opted for cost-effective viewing rather than indulging in snacks and beverages. The escalating reliance on MoviePass and similar offerings engendered a paradox. While initial engagement was promising, the long-term sustainability of this influx proved questionable. Theaters, once vibrant and bustling with activity, now faced an existential crisis. With their revenue models disrupted, many began to reassess their strategies, contemplating adjustments to ticket pricing structures and loyalty programs in response to the changing landscape. The ripple effects of this disruption rippled through industry relationships. Studios, accustomed to reliable box office returns, began to reevaluate their release strategies. This recalibration illustrated a broader recognition of the challenges posed by evolving consumer expectations within this region of cinema. The once thriving ecosystem began to erode, leaving a legacy of uncertainty. The $9.95 plan introduced by the Fading Company became a focal point of controversy. This pricing model, which promised unlimited access to theaters, attracted significant attention. Initially, it generated immense excitement among moviegoers, who anticipated a revolution in how they experienced cinema. Many embraced the notion of watching multiple films each week for a nominal fee. They envisioned a new era of accessibility and engagement with the art of film. As time progressed, the reality of the plan began to surface. Complaints emerged regarding the limitations and restrictions that accompanied the seemingly generous offer. Subscribers discovered that not all films were available, and blackout dates frustrated eager customers. The discrepancies between expectation and actual experience contributed to a growing dissatisfaction. Conversations around this plan shifted from enthusiasm to disappointment. The response from customers included a mix of anger and confusion. Many took to social media to express their grievances, sharing stories of failed transactions and long wait times at ticket counters. Some attempted to cancel their memberships, only to encounter complicated processes, leading to further frustration. This tumultuous feedback cycle crystallized the widening gap between consumer hopes and the company's operational capabilities. Trust eroded steadily, revealing the tenuous relationship that had formed around the once promising concept of unlimited cinema access. Subscriber growth surged initially, with excitement surrounding the unlimited cinema ticket plan capturing the public's imagination. The allure of watching multiple films per month for a flat fee drew in millions, creating a sense of urgency and opportunity. This influx of new subscribers, however, masked underlying issues. The business model relied heavily on volume, placing immense pressure on profitability. Each subscription came with a promise that would soon prove challenging to uphold. Unsustainable practices began to emerge as the number of subscribers overwhelmed the infrastructure that had been put in place. Cinemas, which had initially embraced the plan, started to feel the strain of increased attendance without corresponding revenue. This imbalance quickly shifted perceptions. Promoters of the service faced mounting difficulties in negotiating favorable terms with studios and exhibitors. The initial excitement transformed into concern as the reality of the financial model became apparent. As subscriber numbers continued to grow, the cost of providing unrestricted access began to ripple through the organization. Attempts to refine the model or pivot strategies fell short, often leading to further erosion of trust among both subscribers and cinema partners. This delicate balancing act between subscriber acquisition and sustainable operations. The role of technology became increasingly significant as the company attempted to navigate its operational challenges. Data analytics provided insights into subscriber behavior and usage patterns, offering a glimpse into the preferences of an evolving consumer base. This information was intended to inform decision-making processes, allowing for tailored offerings that could enhance customer retention. Focusing on these patterns, they identified trends in viewing habits, such as peak times and popular genres. Armed with this knowledge, the organization sought to optimize its partnerships with theaters, aiming for better deals based on anticipated attendance. Yet, the sheer volume of data was often overwhelming, leading to misinterpretation and misapplication. The predictive models, while sophisticated, failed to account for external variables such as economic downturns and shifting consumer sentiments, which compounded the existing challenges. This technology-driven approach did not yield the anticipated results. Instead of fostering growth, it contributed to a misalignment between supply and demand. As subscribers shifted preferences and began to exploit the unlimited model, the financial strain became increasingly apparent. The reliance on data analytics, rather than a holistic understanding of market dynamics. Customer service issues emerged as a significant concern, undermining the relationship between the company and its subscribers. Complaints regarding billing discrepancies and technical difficulties began to accumulate, creating a sense of frustration among users. Response times to these inquiries often exceeded acceptable standards, leaving many feeling unheard and unvalued. Communication channels, intended to provide support, became overwhelmed, highlighting the inadequacy of resources allocated for customer service. Users reported lengthy wait times for resolutions, with many expressing dissatisfaction through social media platforms. This growing chorus of discontent fostered an environment of distrust where patrons felt disconnected from the company. The disconnect was exacerbated by a lack of transparency in the company's policies and procedures, further alienating a once loyal customer base. Rather than addressing these concerns proactively, the fading company struggled to streamline its customer service operations. Automated responses replaced personal interactions, leading to a perception of indifference. As grievances mounted, it became clear that the failure to prioritize customer support not only tarnished its reputation, but also directly impacted subscriber retention. In the face of mounting operational challenges, the inability to effectively respond to the needs of its users represented a critical misstep. This deficiency prompted a reassessment of the subscription model. Initial attempts to rectify the situation involved introducing tiered plans, offering varied levels of access to films for different price points. These evolving subscription plans aim to cater to a broader audience, reflecting the shifting preferences of consumers. The hope was to enhance affordability while preserving the allure of limitless viewing. Pricing structures became increasingly complex, with options ranging from limited monthly screenings to premium memberships, including exclusive screenings. This strategy, however, led to further confusion among existing customers, many of whom struggled to comprehend the value proposition. The notion of a singular, uncomplicated offering had once been a hallmark of allure, now diluted into a myriad of choices. Sustained attempts to pivot the business model often met with mixed responses. Loyalty programs were introduced, attempting to incentivize usage and ensure customer retention. Yet, the adjustments failed to resonate deeply with a demographic increasingly skeptical of the value delivered. The evolving landscape saw competitors entering the market, offering distinct solutions that captured consumer interest. Operational challenges compounded the difficulties faced by this fading company. Continued financial strain resulted in cutbacks that hampered service quality and customer support. The once vibrant vision of boundless cinematic experiences began to fade, overshadowed by uncertainty and dwindling subscriber numbers. The decline unfolded methodically, a reminder of the fragility of innovation in a competitive marketplace. The shift to dynamic pricing marked a pivotal moment in the company's trajectory. This strategy aimed to align ticket prices with demand, a move perceived as both innovative and contentious. It introduced an element of unpredictability into the moviegoing experience. Patrons found themselves uncertain about the cost of admission, leading to frustration among loyal customers. Initial projections suggested that this approach would enhance profitability, allowing adjustments based on fluctuating attendance patterns. Yet it became evident that this strategy alienated a significant segment of the audience. Customers who once relished the simplicity of a flat-rate membership now grappled with a confusing pricing structure, resulting in a palpable decline in user satisfaction and retention. Feedback revealed a growing sentiment that this decision undermined the original promise of affordability and accessibility. This region of decision-making illustrated the delicate balance between innovation and consumer trust. As it became increasingly clear that the dynamic pricing model was not yielding the anticipated results, investor confidence began to dwindle. The anticipation surrounding the service slowly gave way to skepticism, marking a crucial turning point in the company's narrative. With each passing month, the fading company faced mounting challenges. The decline of MoviePass reverberated throughout the box office, impacting revenue streams in unforeseen ways. Many theaters saw fluctuations as loyal patrons, enticed by the subscription model, flocked to cinemas. Initially, ticket sales surged, supported by the allure of unlimited access. Attendance figures, bolstered by the plan, suggested a revitalized interest in cinematic experiences. Yet as the viability of the service waned, so did the ticket sales. Revenue began to shift dramatically. The financial model, designed to attract moviegoers with a single monthly fee, soon proved unsustainable. The average box office revenue per film saw a gradual decline. Independent films, once vibrant in their theatrical runs, struggled to maintain audiences as consumers gravitated towards blockbuster releases. Despite the initial boost in attendance, the overall impact of the subscription service began to sour the ticketing landscape. Studios grew cautious, reassessing their projections as the audience's purchasing behaviors shifted unpredictably. With fewer patrons willing to pay full price, theaters faced revenue shortfalls, leading to reduced screenings and, in some cases, temporary closures. The reverberations of this failure extended beyond MoviePass, leaving a legacy of uncertainty. It marked a pivotal moment in the cinema industry, compelling stakeholders to rethink traditional paradigms of ticketing and audience engagement in this evolving marketplace. The response from theaters was immediate and multifaceted. Exhibitors began reevaluating their pricing structures and marketing strategies, recognizing the need to adapt to this new reality. Many implemented their own subscription models, attempting to capture the audience that had been drawn to the allure of unlimited viewing. This strategy reflected a calculated move to retain customer loyalty while navigating the uncertainties introduced by the fading company. Simultaneously, established chains recognized the potential risks of such a model. Concerns regarding revenue erosion led to increased scrutiny of ticket pricing and promotional offers. Some opted to create exclusive content and experiences, aiming to differentiate their offerings from the competition. The desire to retain control over the cinematic experience became paramount, as these venues sought to ensure that their financial stability remained intact amidst the shifting landscape. In this region, smaller independent theaters faced their own challenges. The allure of a subscription service did not always translate into sustainable patronage. As audiences flocked to chains with their enticing offers, these establishments grappled with the dual pressures of dwindling ticket sales and the necessity of maintaining quality programming. The delicate balance between profitability and audience engagement was tested as the industry collectively sought to redefine the cinema experience in the wake of this disruptive influence. Leadership changes within the fading company often reflected a response to mounting pressures. Continuous turnover at the executive level signified a struggle to implement a coherent strategy amidst an evolving landscape. New faces entered the boardroom, each bringing a unique perspective, yet lacking the consistency necessary for navigating the turbulent waters of the cinema industry. The introduction of bold initiatives characterized some leadership tenures, aiming to salvage the crumbling business model. Strategies ranged from attempts to innovate user experiences to cost-cutting measures that. In this environment, communication breakdowns became prevalent, leading to confusion and uncertainty among employees. The mission, once clear, grew increasingly obscured, leaving many to question the viability of the plan. Frequent changes in direction fostered a culture of instability rather than the cohesive teamwork essential for recovery. Each new executive brought their own interpretation of the market's demands, often neglecting the company's historical roots. This lack of continuity hindered long-term planning, rendering strategic initiatives ineffective. As the market shifted, the fading company struggled to maintain relevance, caught in a cycle of reactive decision-making that further deepened its decline. Investor sentiment began to reflect the uncertainty surrounding the fading company. Initial enthusiasm for MoviePass's revolutionary concept of an unlimited cinema ticket plan drew attention and funding, creating an illusion of sustainable growth. Financial projections soared, and analysts lauded it as a disruptive force within the industry. This optimism, however, soon gave way to skepticism. As the company's struggles became apparent, the perception shifted. Stock prices fluctuated erratically, mirroring the erratic nature of its business model. This region of Wall Street, once filled with buoyant discussions, now bore witness to whispers of doubt. Analysts began to question the viability of an unsustainable model that relied heavily on customer volume without a coherent strategy for profitability. Each announcement of subscriber loss and escalating debt further eroded confidence. Major stakeholders, sensing impending challenges, started to withdraw, leaving the company vulnerable. The once promising future now appeared clouded by uncertainty. Diminished investor support led to tightened capital, creating a feedback loop of decline. This evolution in sentiment, from exuberance to disenchantment, was indicative of a broader caution in the market. The fading company found itself not only fighting to retain customers, but also grappling with the growing disillusionment of those who had once championed its potential. Media coverage played a pivotal role in elevating the profile of this fading company, casting a bright spotlight on its ambitious, yet publicity stunts such as partnerships with popular films and celebrity endorsements further amplified the allure. These efforts generated substantial media attention, transforming the brand into a household name. The allure of unlimited access to cinema appealed to a broad audience, with promotional campaigns showcasing stories of enthusiastic movie lovers who embraced the concept with open arms. Yet beneath the surface of this fervent excitement lay a precarious foundation. As the subscriber base rapidly grew, it became increasingly difficult for the fading company to manage its obligations. The initial buzz, which once promised a thriving new era for cinema, began to reveal cracks. With the passage of time, the strategies that had once captivated audiences became overshadowed by the mounting difficulties in sustaining the model. Disappointment echoed in the theater seats as the disillusionment that had begun to settle seeped deeper into the fabric of the company's identity. The initial signs of trouble manifested in financial reports that painted a stark picture of unsustainable practices. A series of quarterly earnings statements reflected increasing deficits, a trend that alarmed stakeholders and investors alike. Late-night calls to board members became more frequent, revealing the depth of the financial crisis. Each passing month saw dwindling revenues, coupled with mounting operational costs. The allure of unlimited cinema tickets had attracted a significant number of subscribers, yet this surge in popularity could not compensate for the heavy expenditures incurred by the company. Each ticket redeemed represented not just a loss, but a growing chasm between promise and reality. The business model, once celebrated for its innovation, faltered under the weight of its own ambition. In this region of rapid expansion and reckless optimism, the cracks widened. It became apparent that the enthusiasm surrounding the service was not matched by a viable financial strategy. A desperate attempt to secure additional funding resulted in unfavorable terms, further complicating the already precarious situation. This precarious balance began to tip as investors grew wary of the company's ability to stabilize. The moments of excitement that had once defined this experience slowly faded into an unsettling silence, leaving behind remnants of what could have been a cautionary tale etched in the annals of entertainment history. This unsettling silence was accompanied by an urgent need to attract and retain subscribers. Strategies designed to keep customers engaged reflected a desperate grasp at maintaining relevance. Promotions, discounts, and loyalty rewards became commonplace, yet these efforts often fell short of rekindling enthusiasm. A reliance on partnerships with cinema chains aimed to enhance the offering, providing subscribers access to exclusive screenings and events. Nevertheless, initial interest waned as these initiatives failed to address underlying issues. Communication, once vibrant, turned sporadic and disjointed, leaving subscribers feeling disconnected. Engagement efforts included attempts to cultivate a community around shared cinematic experiences, yet the lack of clarity in messaging diluted the brand's identity. Social media platforms became a battleground for frustration, where disillusioned subscribers voiced their grievances, further eroding trust. The once lively chatter about movies transformed into a chorus of dissatisfaction. The allure of unlimited access lost its charm as operational challenges mounted. Cinema attendance patterns shifted, leaving the fading company struggling to adapt. Market dynamics evolved, but retention strategies lacked the necessary innovation to capture the attention of a changing audience. This period marked a quiet unraveling as the realization set in that the foundation was crumbling, unable to sustain the very commitment it sought to inspire. Competing services began to emerge, reshaping the landscape of cinema accessibility. New players entered the market, offering subscription models that catered to diverse audiences. These alternatives emphasized flexibility, allowing patrons to select specific films or enjoy varied pricing structures. This shift presented a formidable challenge to the once popular service. The influx of options included tiered memberships, which provided distinct benefits tailored to individual preferences. Some services focused on exclusive content or enhanced viewing experiences, drawing consumers away from the fading company. The landscape became increasingly saturated, with choices that appealed to both casual viewers and avid cinephiles alike. Experiences beyond mere ticket access began to take precedence. Loyalty programs, bundled offers, and partnerships with streaming platforms attracted attention, enticing individuals to explore new avenues for film enjoyment. This region of innovation flourished, leaving little room for complacency. In contrast, the fading company struggled to redefine its value proposition amidst the growing competition. Misalignment with market demands became evident as loyal subscribers drifted toward alternatives that resonated with their evolving needs. The once promising concept of unlimited cinema access started to lose its luster, demonstrating the fragility of success in an industry that continuously adapts. The rise of these alternatives marked a significant turning point, illustrating how quickly consumer preferences can shift, impacting even the most established entities. Legal challenges began to emerge as MoviePass struggled to sustain its groundbreaking model. Lawsuits from both former customers and investors highlighted the growing dissatisfaction with its operations. Allegations of deceptive practices and failure to deliver on promised services became prevalent. This scrutiny intensified when it was revealed that the company had been struggling to secure the funds necessary to pay theaters for the tickets it sold at discounted rates. Regulatory scrutiny followed closely behind. The Federal Trade Commission took notice of the complaints, leading to inquiries that examined the business practices of the fading company. These investigations sought to determine whether the marketing strategies employed were misleading or harmful to consumers. As the situation unraveled, the once celebrated plan faced increasing public backlash, further eroding consumer trust. Internal turmoil compounded these external pressures. Leadership changes and a lack of coherent strategy led to further instability. The financial reports showcased deepening losses, prompting stakeholders to question the viability of the entire operation. Various attempts to pivot or adjust the business model failed to gain traction, reflecting the pervasive confusion surrounding the brand's identity. With lawsuits piling up and regulatory bodies closing in, MoviePass found itself ensnared in a web of legal challenges, signaling a decline that would be difficult to reverse. The promising concept of an unlimited cinema ticket plan faded into obscurity. The Great MoviePass meltdown unfolded through a series of missteps and ill-fated decisions that gradually eroded consumer trust. Initially, the ambitious strategy drew in millions of subscribers, captivated by the allure of seeing an unlimited number of films for a nominal monthly fee. This surge in popularity, however, led to unforeseen challenges. Rapid subscriber growth strained financial resources as the company struggled to reconcile ticket costs with incoming revenue. Theater chains expressed growing concern, witnessing a decline in ticket sales as they grappled with the ramifications of the subscription model. This region of the entertainment industry became increasingly polarized, with deepening rifts between MoviePass and its partners. In response to mounting losses, drastic changes were implemented. The introduction of restrictive policies and evolving pricing structures alienated loyal customers. These shifts, coupled with technical failures in the app, compounded frustrations. The system, once celebrated for its simplicity, devolved into a labyrinth of confusion. By the summer of 2018, the situation deteriorated further. It became evident that the business model, once hailed as revolutionary, was unsustainable. Reports of financial instability and looming bankruptcy circulated, cementing the perception of a company in decline. This period marked a critical turning point as MoviePass transitioned from a once promising venture to a cautionary tale of ambition unchecked by practicality. The unfolding narrative of MoviePass is punctuated by various public relations missteps that further accelerated its decline. They frequently found themselves at the center of controversy, often due to a lack of transparency regarding their business model. Initial excitement soon waned as customers encountered numerous operational issues, such as outages and unexpected policy changes. It became increasingly challenging to maintain confidence in the service. Inconsistent messaging contributed to growing frustration among subscribers. As leadership shifted and strategic directions became muddled, the public received conflicting information about pricing, subscription limits, and movie selection. This confusion was compounded by significant changes implemented without prior notice, leading to customer dissatisfaction and harm to the brand's reputation. Attempts to address these concerns were often met with skepticism. When executives attempted to clarify the company's vision or reassure users, their statements frequently fell flat, lacking credibility. This erosion of trust drove a wedge between the company and its once loyal customer base. As social media emerged as a powerful platform for consumer feedback, negative sentiments quickly spread, amplifying the perception of chaos within the organization. Documentation of these failures reflects a broader trend where communication missteps can dramatically impact a business's fate. The Fading Company's challenges serve as a somber reminder of the importance of coherent and reliable public engagement in sustaining customer relationships. The introduction of the unlimited cinema ticket plan transformed how audiences accessed films, particularly independent productions. This initiative encouraged patrons to venture beyond mainstream offerings, allowing them to explore diverse narratives and unique storytelling. It created an environment where viewers could afford to take risks on lesser-known titles, fostering a new appreciation for the artistry embedded within indie films. As it gained traction, the program provided a temporary boost to smaller productions, increasing their visibility in a saturated market. The influx of new viewers meant that films, which might have otherwise languished in obscurity, found a platform for exposure. This shift allowed independent filmmakers to reach broader audiences, invigorating the sector with fresh ideas and innovative concepts. However, the eventual decline of the service began to affect this newfound accessibility. Independent theaters, once thriving due to increased foot traffic, faced dwindling attendance as audiences reverted to traditional payment models. The gradual erosion of support for indie films highlighted the fragility of this ecosystem, revealing how reliant it had become on a singular model of consumption. While the Fading Company aimed to democratize film viewing, the unintended consequences of its collapse cast a shadow over the future of independent cinema. The lessons learned from this chapter in cinematic history emphasize the delicate balance necessary to sustain niche markets in an ever-evolving industry landscape. The emergence of social media transformed the dynamics between companies and consumers, creating a platform for both advocacy and backlash. In the case of the Fading Company, users initially rallied around the promise of unlimited cinema access, sharing their experiences and promoting the service through various online channels. This enthusiastic support manifested in widespread social media posts, garnering attention and attracting new subscribers. The allure of an accessible cinematic experience captured the imaginations of filmgoers eager for innovative solutions. Yet as financial strains became evident, the narrative shifted. Discontent grew as customers faced restrictions and inconsistencies in service. Complaints regarding blackout dates, limited availability, and fluctuating pricing structures flooded platforms. Detractors quickly transformed from advocates into critics, voicing their frustrations with increasing fervor. These digital complaints reverberated throughout the community, further diminishing trust and engagement. Restlessness among users culminated in viral posts that questioned the sustainability of the business model. As the company struggled to adapt, the dialogue surrounding it became increasingly polarized. Enthusiastic support gave way to disillusionment, highlighting a stark juxtaposition in consumer sentiment. This development exemplified the profound impact social media wielded in shaping perceptions. where a once loyal customer base could swiftly turn against a service, amplifying failures and accelerating decline. The repercussions of such digital discourse echoed throughout this region, leaving an indelible mark on the cinematic landscape. Strategic partnerships emerged as a potential lifeline, aiming to bridge the gap between traditional cinema and the burgeoning realm of streaming services. Collaborations were explored with several prominent platforms, each presenting an opportunity to reshape viewer engagement. This initiative sought to create a seamless integration of cinematic experiences, allowing for the cross-pollination of audiences. Negotiations unfolded with optimism, as the prospect of bundling cinema tickets with subscription services offered a glimpse of renewed hope. These alliances promised to enhance customer value by providing exclusive access to screenings and special events. The allure of attracting subscribers into physical theaters resonated with stakeholders, evoking visions of revitalization. Challenges soon presented themselves, however. The contrasting business models of cinema and streaming highlighted fundamental discrepancies in consumer behavior. While audiences increasingly gravitated toward on-demand content in the comfort of their homes, traditional theaters struggled to draw patrons into their establishments. Attendance figures reflected this shift, with diminishing returns evident across the board. This divergence led to a series of adjustments in the subscription model, prompting a reevaluation of the initial offering. The unlimited plan, once a beacon of innovation, gradually succumbed to the pressures of financial sustainability. It became clear that the original premise could not withstand the weight of its own ambition. The introduction of tiered options marked a pivotal moment in this evolution. These new models aimed to balance user accessibility with the realities of operational costs. Pricing structures shifted, offering limited selections rather than unrestricted access. This change, while necessary, alienated a significant portion of the subscriber base who had signed up for the original promise of unlimited viewing. Customer dissatisfaction began to surface as restrictions tightened. Users expressed frustration with blackout dates and limitations on popular titles, which further eroded loyalty. This region, once buzzing with excitement over cinematic possibilities, now echoed with disappointment. The allure of spontaneity faded, replaced by a sense of inevitability regarding choices. Meanwhile, competition from other streaming services intensified, adding pressure on this already strained venture. With a dwindling subscriber count and rising operational costs, the once celebrated innovation transformed into a cautionary tale. It became evident that the initial vision could not be reconciled with the harsh realities of the market, leading to its eventual decline. A new iteration emerged, branded as MoviePass 2.0, attempting to reclaim the lost audience. This ambitious renewal aimed to address the criticisms that had previously plagued the original model, seeking to establish a sustainable framework within a rapidly changing industry. It introduced tiered pricing options, allowing consumers to choose plans that better suited their viewing habits. Despite these adjustments, skepticism lingered among potential users. Awareness of the financial struggles of the predecessor cast a shadow over this reimagined offering. Promises of unlimited screenings were replaced with more measured limits, a move designed to appeal to both loyal patrons and cautious newcomers. Marketing efforts intensified, emphasizing a more manageable approach to cinema access and a renewed commitment to partnerships with theaters. promises of exclusive benefits and rewards were made, aiming to foster a sense of community among subscribers. Yet, the pressure to balance profitability with consumer satisfaction remained palpable. Initial signups revealed a flicker of hope, yet the broader response reflected a market still wary. This new venture faced the daunting challenge of competing with evolving streaming services and changing consumer preferences. Each passing month brought further scrutiny over whether this revival could stand the test of time or would succumb to the same forces that had dismantled its predecessor. The bankruptcy filing marked a pivotal moment in the trajectory of the fading company. Initial optimism gave way to tumult as financial realities surfaced. Unraveling financial statements revealed staggering losses, highlighting unsustainable business practices. This led to mounting pressure from investors and stakeholders who increasingly questioned the viability of the model. In the months preceding the filing, subscriber growth, once a beacon of hope, faltered. The allure of unlimited cinema tickets faded in the face of operational challenges, including escalating film costs and a complex relationship with theaters. The promise of affordable access to films turned into a burden, straining both customer loyalty and the company's financial foundation. Management struggled to implement strategies to adapt to the evolving landscape, but attempts to pivot were met with skepticism. Plans to introduce tiered pricing and additional services failed to rekindle interest, further eroding confidence. As the bankruptcy proceedings unfolded, the atmosphere shifted. The once vibrant community of dedicated users transformed into a chorus of disappointment. The aftermath of the filing revealed not just a failed business model, but also the fragility of consumer expectations in a rapidly changing marketplace. Trust, once a cornerstone of the venture, diminished, leaving behind a cautionary tale of ambition unmet by reality. The repercussions of this decline ripple through the subscription economy, leaving behind a landscape marked by both potential and caution. MoviePass, once a beacon of innovation, introduced a model that encouraged consumers to rethink their relationship with cinema. It opened a dialogue about accessibility and affordability in entertainment, prompting other industries to explore similar subscription frameworks. While the service, a lingering impact resides in the heightened scrutiny placed on subscription pricing and service sustainability. The once unquestioned allure of unlimited access now carries an inherent skepticism as consumers weigh the value against potential pitfalls. As they navigate these decisions, the legacy of MoviePass serves as a reminder of the fragile balance between ambition and feasibility. In the shadows of its downfall, a new era of subscription-based services continues to emerge. Businesses draw from this history, aware of the delicate interplay between consumer expectations and the realities of operational viability, striving to avoid the missteps that led to its demise. Consumer behavior unfolded in an intricate pattern, revealing insights that would shape future offerings in the cinematic landscape. Users initially embraced the allure of limitless viewing, ignited by a sense of freedom that the subscription model promised. Yet, this enthusiasm quickly evolved into a complex relationship marked by disappointment and unmet expectations. As the company expanded, it struggled to maintain the balance between subscriber growth and the financial strain imposed by the ticketing model. An increasing number of users, once enthusiastic, began to express frustration over limitations and restrictions that emerged, such as blackout dates and reduced access to popular films. The initial thrill of unlimited cinema transformed into a series of compromises, leaving many feeling disenfranchised. Insights gathered from this experience revealed critical lessons in consumer psychology. Patrons were not merely seeking a low-cost entry to theaters, they craved a seamless and enriching experience. A simple, clear value proposition proved essential in retaining loyalty, while convoluted policies eroded trust. This examination of user behavior highlighted the necessity of aligning operational capabilities with consumer desires, ensuring that offerings are sustainable and fulfilling. The fading company left behind a cautionary tale, reminding future ventures that understanding the customer experience is paramount in an increasingly competitive marketplace. Cultural shifts often arise from innovative ideas and MoviePass, while the promise of unlimited cinema attendance ignited a temporary surge in movie-going as patrons flocked to theaters in unprecedented numbers. This phenomenon highlighted a growing desire for affordability and accessibility in entertainment, reshaping industry norms. Audiences began to demand not only more films, but also a diverse selection of genres, further influencing production decisions. In the aftermath of its decline, lasting effects became evident. Streaming services gained momentum as consumers sought flexibility and convenience in their viewing habits. The industry's focus shifted toward digital platforms, accommodating a new generation of viewers who preferred to curate their experience from the comfort of home over traditional cinema outings. This transition underscored the evolving relationship between audiences and content, revealing the fragility of established norms. MoviePass. MoviePass operated on a model that promised consumers unlimited access to theatrical experiences for a modest monthly fee. This initially captured significant consumer interest, drawing in millions. The allure of seeing films at will created an expansive user base eager to engage with cinema more frequently. Yet, the structure of the business model was inherently flawed. Payouts to theaters for each ticket redeemed were often far greater than the subscription fee collected. The imbalance between revenue and expenditure quickly became starkly apparent. Decisions made to attract subscribers led to unsustainable practices, including discounts and promotional offers. A lack of foresight regarding operational costs contributed to a relentless depletion of financial resources, exposing vulnerabilities. As ticket redemptions surged, the company struggled to maintain its cash flow. The reliance on a vast subscriber base to offset losses proved misguided. Customer acquisition costs rose sharply while engagement plateaued. This region of financial mismanagement. The once thriving enterprise began to unravel. Public perception shifted as dissatisfaction grew. Subscribers experienced outages, service changes, and a dwindling selection of available films. Trust eroded, and with it, the foundation of the business. In the wake of an unsustainable model, the decline was inevitable, marking a notable chapter in cinema history. The financial analysis reveals a troubling picture. Cash flow became increasingly strained as the demand for unlimited cinema tickets surged. Initial enthusiasm quickly morphed into a heavy burden, with expenditures outpacing revenue. Each subscription generated a commitment to pay theaters for ticket usage, a model that faltered under the weight of rising operational costs and changing consumer behavior. Sustainability issues emerged, with the company's inability to maintain a healthy cash reserve. As subscribers flocked to the service, it became clear that the projections for ticket utilization were overly optimistic. The allure of unlimited films drew in users, but the financial ramifications became apparent. The model relied on a delicate balance, one that crumbled as more customers took advantage of the offering. This region witnessed a rapid deterioration of confidence among investors, who began to recognize the divergence between growth potential and actual financial health. Budget constraints led to cuts in marketing efforts, limiting the ability to attract new subscribers. Existing users, disillusioned by service limitations and theater availability, gradually disengaged, further exacerbating cash flow issues. The cumulative effect of these decisions created a downward spiral. With dwindling resources and mounting liabilities, the once celebrated service transitioned from a beacon of innovation to a cautionary tale, illustrating the perils of mismanaged ambition within a competitive landscape. The competitive landscape shifted dramatically following the decline of this once prominent service. Various companies began to explore alternative models, seeking to fill the void left by its collapse. Subscription-based plans emerged, gaining traction among cinema enthusiasts who desired affordability and convenience. These new entities adopted lessons learned from the failures of the fading company, emphasizing sustainable growth rather than unchecked expansion. Amidst this evolution, traditional theaters reevaluated their strategies, recognizing the necessity of adapting to changing consumer preferences. Many introduced their own subscription models, aiming to retain loyal audiences while attracting new ones. Innovative partnerships with streaming services also became prevalent, blurring the lines between cinematic experiences and home viewing. Market dynamics continued to evolve, with niche services targeting specific demographics. Some focused on independent or art house films, while others catered to family-oriented content, ensuring a diverse range of options for varied audiences. This diversification fostered a more resilient environment, one that aimed to balance profitability without sacrificing the cinematic experience. The decline of the original service also prompted investors to reconsider the viability of subscription-based entertainment ventures. Caution prevailed as financial backers sought models grounded in realistic projections and sustainable practices. This recalibration marked a significant shift in the industry, establishing a new foundation built upon prudence and adaptability. The future of movie subscriptions is poised to evolve, shaped by the lessons learned from past failures. Emerging trends suggest a growing emphasis on personalization and flexibility. Consumers are increasingly seeking options tailored to their viewing habits, favoring plans that allow for selective curation over one-size-fits-all solutions. This shift reflects a broader desire for agency in an ever-changing entertainment landscape. Innovative companies are experimenting with hybrid models, integrating streaming services with traditional cinema experiences. Such strategies aim to capitalize on the unique strengths of both mediums, offering consumers an enriched experience that transcends mere ticket purchases. The convenience of access combined with the communal aspect of cinema could rejuvenate interest in theater attendance. Additionally, data analytics plays a crucial role in shaping future offerings. By harnessing insights into viewer preferences, companies can curate content more effectively, ensuring that subscribers receive recommendations aligned with their tastes. This approach not only enhances user satisfaction, but can also drive engagement and retention. Sustainability emerges as another key consideration. As environmental awareness rises, subscription models that promote eco-friendly practices may find favor with a conscientious audience. The trajectory of movie subscriptions reflects a complex interplay of innovation, consumer demand, and ethical considerations, suggesting a future where adaptability and responsiveness define success. The shifting landscape prompted studios and distributors to reevaluate their release strategies. Traditional revenue models began to wane, leading to a cautious exploration of alternative avenues. Many embraced technological advancements, leveraging streaming platforms to reach audiences directly, thereby bypassing the complex relationships with theaters. This shift was accompanied by an increasing focus on data analytics. Insights into viewer preferences became paramount, enabling content creation tailored to specific demographics, thus fostering enhanced engagement. Amidst these changes, a sense of urgency emerged among distributors. The dwindling attendance at theaters forced them to reconsider the theatrical window, while some opted for simultaneous releases across platforms. This decision reflected a calculated risk, aiming to capture diverse audience segments and maximize revenue potential. The impact was profound, creating a ripple effect throughout the industry. In this evolving environment, independent filmmakers found themselves navigating new challenges and opportunities. The rise of digital distribution channels provided a means to reach audiences previously considered elusive, while simultaneously intensifying competition. The landscape became increasingly fragmented, with varying levels of accessibility to potential viewers. As the industry adapted, collaborations between studios and tech companies flourished. This partnership aimed to enhance the consumer experience and create a seamless transition between theatrical and at-home viewing. The response to these shifts indicated a fundamental transformation, reshaping the dynamics of film consumption in the years to come. The role of data became increasingly paramount in this evolving landscape. Comprehensive analysis of user preferences provided insights into viewing habits and ticket purchasing patterns. This information revealed not just what films audiences were drawn to, but also their preferences for times, locations, and formats. These insights offered a glimpse into the complexities of consumer behavior, demonstrating a shift towards a more personalized experience in cinema. With access to vast amounts of data, companies sought to refine their marketing strategies and create tailored offerings. Subscription models proliferated, adapting to the desires of consumers who showed a willingness to pay for convenience and choice. This transition marked a departure from traditional ticketing methods, as it emphasized the importance of understanding individual tastes. In this region of the entertainment industry, data-driven decisions began to define the trajectory of companies. The accumulation of real-time analytics allowed for agile responses to market demands, pushing businesses to innovate continuously. Despite these advancements, the reliance on data also revealed potential pitfalls. As companies became fixated on numbers, the human aspect of cinema, the communal experience of film, risked being overlooked. The intricacies of user preferences served as both a guiding light and a potential trap, as understanding these nuances proved crucial for survival in an increasingly competitive market. Brand loyalty hinged on the delicate interplay between consumer expectations and corporate offerings. The allure of unlimited access drew in subscribers, creating an initial wave of enthusiasm. This excitement masked deeper issues that would later emerge, revealing how fragile loyalty can be when built on unsustainable foundations. The promise of convenience offered by MoviePass quickly became overshadowed by a lack of clarity regarding its long-term viability. Subscriber retention depended not solely on price, but on the perceived value of the experience. As the service struggled to maintain its appeal, it became increasingly evident that mere access to films was insufficient. Subscribers desired a connection to the industry, a sense of belonging that transcended transactional relationships. This realization underscored a critical lesson for other companies. Loyalty is cultivated through engagement and genuine appreciation for consumer preferences. The company's attempts to adapt its business model often alienated its core audience. Changes in pricing structures and service limitations contributed to a growing sense of betrayal among subscribers. The once vibrant community of loyal film enthusiasts began to fracture, reflecting the broader implications of mismanagement in a rapidly evolving landscape. Their experiences served as a poignant reminder that brand loyalty thrives on trust and mutual respect, elements that, once compromised, can lead to irrevocable decline. The ephemeral nature of consumer allegiance was starkly illuminated within these trends. The pandemic introduced a significant disruption to the already fragile ecosystem of cinema attendance. This region, once bustling with patrons eager to experience the latest releases, now faced unprecedented closures. MoviePass, already struggling to maintain its subscriber base, found itself in an even more precarious position. Social distancing measures and heightened health concerns led to a drastic decline in theater attendance, further eroding the viability of an unlimited ticket plan. Many subscribers, once drawn to the allure of unlimited access, began to reevaluate their commitments as theaters shuttered. With the uncertainty of reopenings, the subscription service faced a rapid decline in revenue. The prospect of returning to cinemas became tenuous, and many patrons opted for alternative forms of entertainment at home. This shift in viewing habits weakened the very foundation upon which MoviePass had built its model. Surrounding this decline were mounting financial pressures. The operational costs incurred during a time when subscribers were unable to utilize their memberships proved unsustainable. This situation illuminated the vulnerabilities that had long been inherent in the business model. The pandemic catalyzed a shift in consumer priorities, leading to a reevaluation of the traditional cinema experience. This evolving landscape. The evolution of movie tickets reflects a significant shift in consumer habits, influenced by advancements in technology and changing preferences. Traditional ticket sales relied heavily on physical box offices, where patrons would queue to purchase admission. The rise of digital platforms introduced a more convenient method, allowing customers to buy tickets online or via mobile applications. This transformation catered to an increasingly impatient audience, accustomed to instant gratification. In this region, the proliferation of streaming services further altered the landscape. Viewers began to favor home viewing experiences over the communal atmosphere of cinemas, driven by the allure of personalized content at their fingertips. The notion of unlimited cinema access, as proposed by certain innovative business models, initially generated enthusiasm, promising an unprecedented level of engagement. Yet the sustainability of such models proved tenuous. As subscription services multiplied, competition intensified, leading to a dilution of value. Consumers found themselves inundated with choices, diminishing their loyalty to any single service. The allure of unlimited viewing began to wane, as the reality of operational costs clashed with consumer expectations for affordability. The fading company struggled to adapt to this evolving market, unable to balance the costs of offering unlimited access with dwindling attendance. This dichotomy highlighted a broader trend where traditional cinema businesses grappled with the shifting preferences of a generation shaped by digital consumption. The impact on movie studios and theaters was profound. As audience engagement shifted, the financial model that had sustained these entities began to unravel. Studios found their revenue streams strained as the once reliable box office receipts diminished under the weight of subscription fatigue. The allure of a one-size-fits-all ticket model, which promised unlimited access for a fixed price, began to erode the traditional ticketing structure that had been the bedrock of film financing. Theaters faced a dual challenge. Not only were fewer patrons willing to pay full price, but the allure of streaming services began to overshadow the communal experience of cinema. This region, once vibrant with anticipation, became marked by dwindling attendance and increasingly empty seats. The business model favored by MoviePass pulled revenue away from theaters, leading to a recalibration of their operations. Many were forced to consider alternative revenue streams or rethink their marketing strategies. Studios, too, were caught in this quagmire. With less income from box office sales, the financing of new projects became precarious. The symbiotic relationship between theatrical releases and home viewing began to fray, leaving both parties vulnerable. In this evolving landscape, the traditional stakeholders struggled to adapt, caught in a cycle of uncertainty and diminishing returns. The essence of cinema began to feel like a fading memory. A diverse group of individuals became early adopters, drawn by the allure of unlimited cinema viewing. Young adults, seeking affordable entertainment options, found the subscription appealing amidst rising ticket prices. This demographic thrived on social experiences, often attending screenings with friends, and the prospect of watching multiple films each month became an enticing proposition. Families, too, were attracted to the plan, recognizing the financial benefits of a flat monthly fee. Parents saw the opportunity to frequent theaters without the burden of inflated costs, transforming weekends into cinematic outings. The promise of an affordable escape from daily routines created a sense of loyalty among subscribers, who felt they were part of a community that valued shared experiences. However, this surge in popularity masked underlying challenges. The allure of unlimited access created an expectation that strained the service's operational capabilities. As more subscribers inundated theaters, concerns about overcrowding began to surface. The initial excitement soon shifted to disillusionment, as many patrons faced difficulties securing tickets for popular releases. Demographic shifts also became apparent, with a decreasing interest among older moviegoers who preferred traditional viewing experiences. This gradual erosion of the subscriber base highlighted the service's struggle to maintain its once enthusiastic audience, leaving it vulnerable to the pressures of a changing market. Investor confidence began to wane as financial reports unveiled a troubling reality. Initial projections showcased ambitious growth, suggesting that MoviePass would redefine cinema consumption. Over time, it became evident that operational costs were spiraling out of control, making profitability an elusive target. High subscriber numbers did not equate to sustainable revenue. Losses accumulated rapidly as the company attempted to attract and retain a fickle user base. The allure of unlimited access transformed into a financial burden, with an unsustainable pricing model driving significant red flags. Investors expressed concerns regarding the company's ability to adapt to competitive pressures and evolving consumer preferences. As traditional theaters began adjusting their pricing structures and subscription offerings, MoviePass struggled to keep pace. It became increasingly clear that the market's dynamics had shifted. The once ironclad appeal of an all-you-can-watch approach lost its charm, overshadowed by the emergence of streaming services and digital alternatives. Analysts noted a disconnect between the company's marketing strategies and the realities of consumer engagement, raising further doubts about future viability. Decision-makers faced scrutiny over management choices, often perceived as reactive rather than strategic. The erosion of trust culminated in a loss of backing, leading to a downward spiral that would reshape the landscape of theater consumption and leave a notable mark on the film industry. A critical examination reveals that innovation could have provided a lifeline for MoviePass during its decline. The initial concept of an unlimited cinema ticket was groundbreaking, capturing the interest of film enthusiasts and casual viewers alike. However, the execution faltered as the service struggled to adapt to the evolving market demands. A streamlined approach to partnerships with theaters could have fostered beneficial collaborations, allowing for shared revenue models that incentivized cinemas to embrace this new subscription format. Implementing advanced data analytics might have offered insights into consumer behavior, facilitating targeted offerings that aligned with audience preferences. These adjustments could have led to an enhanced user experience, ensuring customer loyalty amid growing competition. The introduction of tiered membership options might have appealed to various demographics, balancing accessibility with sustainability. Pivoting to include exclusive content, such as early screenings or behind-the-scenes access, could have distinguished the brand in a saturated market. Such innovations would have not only retained existing subscribers, but likely attracted new audiences as well. The lessons drawn from this situation extend far beyond the confines of a single failed business. Prioritizing sustainable growth over rapid expansion might have changed the trajectory of this venture. A carefully constructed business model, rooted in financial viability, often proves more effective than one driven by the allure of immediate customer acquisition. The importance of transparent communication with stakeholders cannot be overstated. In this case, unclear messaging led to a loss of consumer trust. Startups must ensure their value propositions are clearly articulated, ensuring that customers understand what they are purchasing. Flexibility within a business model can provide resilience against unforeseen market changes. Adapting pricing structures and offerings in response to consumer feedback would have allowed it to pivot instead of stagnating. Continuous analysis of user engagement and market trends serves as a crucial compass for any emerging enterprise. Furthermore, cultivating a strong technological infrastructure is essential. This region witnessed how inadequate systems can lead to operational failures, undermining customer experience. Investing in robust technology ensures seamless service delivery, enhancing user satisfaction. In the aftermath, reflections from former employees reveal a complex landscape of hope and disillusionment. Many entered the company with enthusiasm, eager to contribute to a revolutionary concept promising unlimited access to cinema. Initial excitement gave way to unease as operational challenges mounted. The once vibrant offices, filled with the energy of innovation, transformed into spaces marked by uncertainty and tension. Interaction within teams shifted from collaborative brainstorming to quiet resignation. Employees often spoke of their initial visions, which soon felt overshadowed by a struggle to keep pace with rapid subscriber growth and the unrealistic expectations of stakeholders. Misalignments between ambitions and practical capabilities became evident, leading to a pervasive sense of disillusionment. Trust eroded as communication faltered amid mounting pressures. They witnessed firsthand the toll on morale, where the passion that once drove them became entangled in doubt. The realization that a promising idea could not withstand the weight of flawed execution unfolded slowly, coupled with a growing awareness of the financial implications. Many former employees reflected on the lessons learned, emphasizing the need for realistic planning and sustainable growth strategies. This introspection highlighted the importance of aligning innovative concepts with sound business practices. As the remnants of this venture linger, the insights gained serve as a quiet reminder of the complexities inherent in ambitious endeavors. Emerging technologies present a landscape ripe with potential for cinema subscriptions. The evolution of streaming services has shifted audience expectations, leading to a desire for flexibility and convenience. New platforms, equipped with advanced algorithms, analyze viewer preferences, allowing for personalized content delivery. These innovations could reshape subscription models, adapting to individual tastes in real time. In this region, augmented reality and virtual reality begin to forge pathways for immersive experiences. By integrating these technologies into cinema outings, a subscription service could offer unique opportunities, blurring the line between physical and digital realms. Patrons might find themselves not merely watching films, but engaging with them on a deeper level, enhancing their overall experience. Blockchain technology introduces another dimension, enabling decentralized platforms that could ensure transparency in transactions. This approach may foster consumer trust, addressing concerns about hidden fees or misleading practices. The implementation of smart contracts could streamline ticketing processes, reducing the friction associated with purchasing and expanding the market. As these advancements evolve, the traditional cinema landscape could adapt, offering subscription models that are responsive to the changing desires of audiences. With each step forward, the industry edges closer to a future where cinema subscriptions are not merely a ticket to a film, but a gateway to an enriched cinematic journey. The potential synergy between technology and cinema remains an intriguing frontier. The concept of community played a pivotal role in shaping the initial perception of this service. Early adopters rallied around the idea of an inexpensive, unlimited ticket plan, fostering a sense of belonging among users. This collective enthusiasm propelled the service into the spotlight, generating an impression of a revolutionary shift in the cinematic experience. Enthusiastic discussions flourished in online forums and social media, creating an environment where users exchanged tips, recommendations, and personal stories. Engagement with this community often manifested through user-generated content, amplifying the voices of those who successfully navigated the complexities of the ticketing system. Shared experiences became a vital part of the narrative surrounding the service, as users celebrated their newfound freedom to explore diverse genres and films. Over time, this sense of community began to fracture. As operational difficulties emerged, the user experience suffered. frustration mounted over sudden changes to policies and limitations on usage. Users who once found solidarity in shared enthusiasm now face disillusionment, leading to a gradual decline in loyalty. This shift reflected the importance of user trust and engagement, highlighting how essential a stable, user-driven experience is to the longevity of any service in the ever-evolving landscape of entertainment. The impact of this decline resonates through the industry, leaving behind a complex legacy that future brands cannot ignore. They must grapple with the lessons learned from its tumultuous journey, navigating the delicate balance between ambition and sustainability. In the wake of its fall, a cautionary tale emerged, shaping the strategies of emerging entities in the cinematic landscape. Innovative models have surfaced, guided by the understanding that consumer expectations have shifted dramatically. The pitfalls of overextending services without ensuring reliability became evident, informing new approaches to subscription-based offerings. Startups and established companies alike are now keenly aware that user engagement goes beyond mere transactions. It requires cultivating relationships built on trust and transparency. This evolving dynamic has prompted many to prioritize adaptable business models, allowing for flexibility in response to consumer feedback. Brands are increasingly focused on creating tailored experiences that resonate deeply with audiences. The remnants of MoviePass serve as a reminder that while ambition can drive innovation, it must be tethered to practical realities. The cultural influence of this faded entity persists, subtly shaping industry conversations and igniting discussions about the viability of unlimited access. Future brands will undoubtedly reflect on these lessons, striving to create sustainable, engaging experiences that honor the complexities of consumer expectations while avoiding the traps that led to its decline. Public sentiment surrounding the unlimited cinema ticket plan revealed a complex relationship between enthusiasm and disillusionment. Initially, excitement surged as consumers embraced the prospect of unrestricted movie access at a nominal monthly fee. This concept resonated deeply within a culture increasingly eager for convenience and entertainment. Many perceived it as a revolutionary shift in how they engaged with cinema, fostering a sense of liberation among moviegoers. As the novelty wore off, the initial thrill began to fade, replaced by a growing skepticism. Experiences of overcrowded theaters and long wait times further intensified frustration. Feedback indicated that consumers felt misled by promises of unlimited viewing. The operational limitations became evident as some users reported difficulties in purchasing tickets for popular films. As these challenges accumulated, the perception of value began to decline. The emotional landscape shifted from excitement to disappointment, revealing a crucial disconnect between expectations and reality. Negative experiences overshadowed the initial joy, leading many to question the sustainability of such an offering. The rise of social media amplified these sentiments, allowing discontent to spread rapidly. Conversations shifted from advocacy to critique, highlighting the fragility of consumer trust. This erosion of confidence. The importance of financial transparency became increasingly evident as the company struggled to maintain its ambitious model. Stakeholders observed a growing disconnect between promises and actual performance. This disparity contributed to an environment of mistrust, where users began to question the sustainability of the service. Financial data, once a source of reassurance, transformed into a point of contention. Investors, initially drawn by bold projections, found themselves grappling with a lack of clear communication. The absence of detailed financial reporting led to speculation and uncertainty. This created a feedback loop. As doubts deepened, user subscriptions dwindled, further straining the already tenuous financial situation. Analysis revealed that consistent and comprehensive financial disclosures might have mitigated some of the adverse effects. Transparency facilitates a better understanding of operational challenges. It allows stakeholders to grasp the complexities of business models, fostering a sense of shared responsibility and engagement. In this case, clearer financial insights could have empowered both investors and consumers to make informed decisions. The fading company's struggle serves as a stark reminder of the critical role that financial transparency plays in sustaining business practices. By prioritizing open communication, organizations can cultivate trust and resilience. This approach, however, was notably absent in the case of MoviePass. The decision to offer an unlimited cinema ticket plan drew considerable interest, but it lacked a sustainable financial model. Initial excitement gave way to skepticism as the reality of heavy losses became apparent. The company's pricing strategy, which set the subscription fee at a seemingly irresistible level. Market competition intensified as more players entered the subscription space, further complicating the business landscape. The response to customer demand was often reactive rather than proactive, with adjustments made in haste, leading to confusion among users. This inconsistency eroded the brand's credibility and alienated potential subscribers. Management's failure to anticipate the financial ramifications of their strategy became increasingly evident. The reliance on venture capital funding created an unsustainable dependency, illustrating a disconnect between operational costs and revenue generation. This short-sightedness culminated in an inability to adapt to rapid shifts in consumer behavior and preferences. As the once promising service began to unravel, the implications became clear. The rapid decline of MoviePass served as an instructive case study in the importance of strategic foresight, balanced decision-making, and an understanding of market dynamics. Lessons learned from this decline resonate within the broader context of entrepreneurial endeavors. Emerging from the ashes of previous failures, a new generation of cinema subscription models has begun to take shape. Innovators in this region recognize the need for flexibility and sustainability, addressing the shortcomings that contributed to past collapses. These offerings often feature tiered pricing structures, which allow consumers to select plans tailored to their viewing habits and preferences. Data-driven strategies have become integral to shaping these models. Insights into consumer behavior inform not only pricing, but also the variety of films included in subscriptions. Exclusive releases and partnerships with streaming services create a more compelling value proposition, enticing audiences to engage with cinema in novel ways. Technology plays a pivotal role in these developments. Mobile applications streamline the ticket purchasing process, offering users a seamless experience from browsing to booking to attending films. This approach fosters a sense of community among subscribers, encouraging shared experiences rather than solitary viewings. In this evolving landscape, traditional theaters are also adapting, revisiting their operational strategies to compete with streaming giants. Enhanced amenities and curated film selections aim to draw audiences back into physical spaces, reinforcing the importance of the cinematic experience. While the future remains uncertain, these new models signify a cautious optimism, suggesting that the lessons of the past may pave the way for a more resilient approach to cinema consumption. Analyzing MoviePass's story reveals critical insights into consumer behavior and market dynamics. The rise and fall of this once celebrated subscription service reflects a fundamental misunderstanding of sustainable business practices. Initially, it attracted millions, drawing in moviegoers with an enticing promise of unlimited access. This allure, however, masked the underlying issues that would. The company's strategy failed to account for the financial realities of the film industry. With increased usage, the burden of ticket purchases outweighed subscription revenues, creating an untenable financial model. It became clear that while consumer demand for entertainment remained strong, the operational framework lacked necessary foresight and adaptability. Amidst its rapid expansion, significant decisions surrounding partnerships and marketing were made without a thorough evaluation of long-term viability. The overextension of resources culminated in a series of missteps that alienated both consumers and theater chains. This region, once bustling with anticipation for cinematic experiences, now stands as a reminder of the fragility inherent in innovation without a solid foundation. Future generations can draw valuable lessons from this narrative. It serves as a cautionary tale about the necessity of careful planning, stakeholder engagement, and the importance of aligning business models with economic realities, ensuring that enthusiasm does not overshadow prudence in the pursuit of success. The end of an era marked the conclusion of a once revolutionary concept. The rapid decline of this service reflected broader shifts within the film industry as consumer preferences and viewing habits evolved. The allure of unlimited access dissipated, leaving behind a landscape transformed by streaming services and digital consumption. The remnants of this fading company symbolize a moment when ambition collided with unsustainable practices, resulting in a significant disruption. This region of cinematic history now stands as a stark reminder of the challenges inherent in navigating a changing marketplace. Many consumers shifted towards convenience, favoring the comfort of home viewing over the traditional theater experience. Loyalty waned as patrons increasingly sought flexibility that a monthly subscription could not sustain. Future endeavors in moviegoing must contend with the lessons learned from this venture. Businesses must prioritize sustainable growth, incorporating adaptive strategies that resonate with audience expectations. The industry now faces the task of redefining value propositions, exploring innovative approaches that enhance the communal experience of cinema while embracing technological advancements. In this evolving narrative, the future of moviegoing may hinge on a delicate balance between tradition and innovation. As the dust settles on the remnants of past ambitions, new opportunities await those willing to engage with the complexities of modern entertainment consumption.